Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. I love you, sending you a very big virtual hug wherever you are on the earth plane in this now moment. I want to give a little message around the energies of April. So March for many of us was a really intense, powerful, and expansive month. For many of us, we were able to really dive deep into more trauma, understand more of our truth, hold firmer boundaries, say no more often, say yes more often, be more authentic with who we are, what we need, what we want, firmer boundaries, clearing out space within our physical form in order to hold more light, in order to step into higher states of consciousness, releasing old patterns, old beliefs, old behaviors, in order to step into new beliefs, new behaviors, new patterns. And why have we been doing this? Because what is coming for the human collective is going to be a little bit more chaotic than what we have been experiencing. And we are here, you and I, on the earth plane to be able to hold hands with all of the humans that are not quite awake yet, that are still in amnesia. They don't know we're holding their hands, but we know we're holding their hands. That's why you incarnated at this most powerful time on the human earth plane, so that you can start to walk humanity into these higher states of consciousness. But first, you have to step into them. You have to be the higher states of consciousness first. And so unbeknownst to you and me and many of us, we have been pivoted or thrown into practicing being in higher states of consciousness. And the only way we do that is we release trauma. We release old contracts, i.e. relationships. We release old behaviors, limiting beliefs, all of the things that you and I have been doing for at least a year now, intensely. And this month of April is an opening. It is an opportunity now to step into and to follow your truth, to be real, to be more real than you ever have before, to step into your sovereignty in such a way that you're not asking any longer, am I in a sovereign field? Am I speaking my truth? Am I being authentic? But you are just now being it, which takes courage and a boldness that you may have never felt before. April is a moment where we are sort of stepping onto the battlefield after a long rest, and we have to start to take action through an energetic beingness. So we've been practicing, what's my truth? How do I speak up, right? What is actually happening here on the earth plane? What is all of this about? What are the traumas that need to be released? How do I feel even more? How do I hold firm boundaries? How do I let these people go? Etc., etc. So that you can open up and start to step into the battlefield. Not a bad thing, it's just the word I'm using for it, right? And start to pull the human collective through some of the most intense moments that we're going to have. You see, fortunately or unfortunately, it's going to get more chaotic out there. That's what we're here for. And the more chaotic it gets, the more humans are going to wake up out of amnesia. This is what you have been preparing for. So as we step into the next now moments, this month of April, how real can you be? How honest can you be? How raw can you be? How courageous and bold can you be? How loving and compassionate and empathic can you be? Because we are not here to belittle, berate, yell at, or argue to the humans that are still asleep, that are still under this amnesia state. We are here to hold their hands even though they don't realize we're holding their hands. And we hold their hands by being the example, by showing them higher states of consciousness, by showing them what it looks like to actually be free, to actually critically think, to step out of the matrix. And we don't do it by turning around and calling them sheeple. We don't do it by turning around and belittling them. We don't do it by turning around and arguing with them. We do it by remembering that this is why we're here, and that there is an inevitable and natural process of how this works. We are the front lines. We hold higher states of consciousness, which is an energetic frequency. We continue to show by example what this looks like, what this sounds like, what this feels like. And naturally, the humans behind us will start to recognize what is occurring. They'll start to wake up out of their slumber. And then the ones behind them will watch those. And it's a domino effect. What's happening right now is many of us are looking out at what's happening and we're saying, oh my God, it's getting worse. It's not getting worse. This is what needs to happen in order for more humans to shake up out of the slumber. Our job, our role is not to get convinced or manipulated by what's happening. We hold the remembrance. You hold the remembrance. You're on the front lines. Your job is to remember that you are here to hold higher states of consciousness, regardless of what's happening externally, regardless of what is going on with the vaccines, regardless of what's going on with these passport cards or whatever it is that's going to be rolled out or not going to be rolled out. If we get distracted by what's happening in the external, then we're going to get pulled into that frequency, which is going to pull your frequency down, and you're not going to be able to shine. You're not going to be able to hold the higher states of consciousness so that those behind you that you don't recognize are watching you can start to shift. They're watching you. They're not telling you they're watching you. All of you that are speaking your truth, all of you that are sharing your wisdom and your knowingnesses and holding firm boundaries and saying no and doing everything that is you, your raw, real, authentic, vulnerable you, it's impacting people behind you, whether you see it or not. It's impacting people behind you, so to speak. People that are in a slumber state still. It's impacting them. This is how we do it. We don't get concerned on the details of it. How do I know it's working? It looks like it's getting worse. No, it's going to get worse. I've been saying this for months now. In order to wake up an entire, huge human collective, it's going to take a lot. We have to be prepared for this so that when it starts to get worse, we don't keep saying to ourselves, why is it getting worse? Instead, what we say is, I've got this. I've got this, which means I'm not concerned around how chaotic it's getting out there. I'm concerned with practicing over and over and over again these higher states of consciousness, which is, I am here to be the example of a sovereign human. I am here to be the example of a sovereign human. My frequency and light has an impact so potent that it will break humans free of fear. It will dissolve fear consciousness. So your role here is to remember this over and over and over. Your body is the vessel that emanates out high frequency light, which impacts the entire human collective. Your voice is the vessel that impacts the entire human collective. Your behavior is the vessel that impacts the entire human collective. How are you being? What are you saying? How are you speaking? How are you holding yourself? What are you paying attention to? How much love can you give? How much compassion and empathy can you give? How much remembrance can you hold? That regardless of what is happening externally and who you think you're impacting, I promise you that the way this naturally occurs is that you may or may not see all of the humans that you're impacting right now by being authentic, by being raw, by being vulnerable, by being real, by following your truth, by following your resonance, by following your sovereignty. This is how we do it. We don't get caught up in the illusion that fear is taking over, is winning, because it's not. It is not. We have already done this. We've already gone through this. We have to remember our role here. Your body, your voice, your behavior right now is what is impacting the entire human collective. And the more love, compassion, and empathy that we can have for those that have not awakened yet will have a more massive impact on their awakening. Because millions upon millions upon millions are going to wake up. This evolutionary shift happens. So in this month of April, you have done a ton of work. You have practiced. You have healed. You have maneuvered relationships, behaviors, belief systems, and you still are. But now it's time to solidify even more who you are in human form. Solidify it. Honor it. Be it. You are a being of light that incarnated into a physical form so that you can stand on the front lines, embodying sovereignty and higher states of consciousness for the sole purpose of showing the entire human collective how to shift. And you go first. And it doesn't matter what is rolling out. We literally shift and pummel right through it. It doesn't matter what the systems are doing. We shift the entire thing. So, April, follow your truth. Be you. Be as raw and as real as you can be. Speak your truth. Be your truth. Honor your truth. Be vulnerable. Feel everything. Break down. Stand back up. Be as human as you possibly can. Devour this human experience this month. And devour the being of light that you are inside your human form. Because that being, that soul, that spirit chose to be here in this now moment to be able to do what it is you're doing. And it is a gift. As hard as that is to believe, it is a gift to yourself and to humanity that you're here now on the front lines. And thank you for everything you have, you are, and you will be going through in order to serve humanity and the earth plane in the way that you are, even if you think you aren't serving. You are serving. You are shifting the entire human collective. I promise you, your physical body is the vessel. Your voice is the vessel. Your behavior is the vessel. Stop beating yourself up. Take the pressure off of you. You are a rock star. You are amazing. Every single thing you have gone through has gotten you to this point, and there has been nothing wrong with any of it. Thank you for your courage and your boldness. Let's move through April with so much light that there are millions that wake up this month. I love you.